Guardiola displayed the first sign that he was a football genius by employing a false nine system during his time at Barcelona, and more importantly deploying Messi in the false nine role. Now this is not the first time the false nine has been used, and it wasn't the last. The system dates back about a century to Brazil, and more relevantly for Guardiola to Johan Cruyff at Barcelona itself. The ideology for Guardiola is creating a numerical advantage, which was certainly done in the 2011 Champions League final win over Manchester United. This was Pep's penultimate season at Barca and the one where everything came together to create one of the greatest teams of all time. Barcelona lined up in a 4-3-3 with Messi as a false nine, so this could be seen as more of a 4-3-1-2 with Pedro on the left and David Villa on the right. United's system could be seen as a 4-4-1-1 or more of an ambitious 4-2-3-1 with Rooney playing behind Hernandez. Guardiola believed that one of the centre-backs should be a ball-carrying centre-back, and this role fell to Mascherano, a converted defensive midfielder. United played Rooney behind Hernandez in the final, so instantly we can see that Mascherano has space to bring the ball into the midfield, creating an overload for United to deal with. With Mascherano carrying the ball into the midfield, it means that Barcelona can keep their attackers, and in Barcelona's case wide attackers, in United's third. This stretches the pitch vertically and horizontally, because they are wide and allows more space for Messi and co to play in the spaces through the lines. Dani Alves is on the right, and Messi has taken up a place in the midfield, meaning that Barca outnumber United. Guardiola's tactics gave United a problem. United are unlikely to ask their centre-backs to press the midfield, as this would leave a gaping hole for Barca to exploit, but in the end that's exactly what they had to do. When United would press with Rooney joining Hernandez, Abidal acted as a third centre-back, sitting much deeper than Alves on the right, so this again saw Guardiola's team have the numerical advantage. The ball is progressed into Busquets, and for a moment it's 4 versus 4 in the midfield. The numerical advantage is soon gained though, with Messi dropping back to make up a 5 versus 4. This perfectly highlights the problem that faced United in this final. Mascherano is free because United are only pressing with 1, and this gives plenty of time for him to look up and find a key pass. United have numbers in midfield, but are outnumbered because Messi drops back to collect a pass from Mascherano. Vidic has followed Messi into the midfield, which could be exploited with David Villa or Xavi running into that space. In the same pattern of play, Mascherano has been allowed to break the lines and find Messi in the midfield with a simple pass, as Barca have the numerical advantage again. Here the plan is to run at the centre-backs, drawing them out so that space is created in behind them for a diagonal run from David Villa or Pedro. The problem is solved momentarily with a foul from a midfielder though. United continued to allow Barca an easy progression out of defence. If Mascherano was marked, Piqué was free to progress the ball into the midfield, where Barca had the upper hand because they had numerical supremacy, the numerical advantage. And in the midfield, including Messi, is where Barcelona was so strong, controlling the play with short passing, just waiting for spaces to open up, which they surely would. Messi's freedom to drop into the centre of midfield had an effect on Barcelona horizontally. When he took up positions alongside Xavi and Iniesta, it forced United winger Park to come infield, making United's midfield 4 narrower. This then gave space on the right for Dani Alves to move into, and along with David Villa, created a 2 versus 1 on the fullback. The idea then is that as Alves pushes into the final third, Villa can move into the half spaces and find shooting angles. Iniesta and Xavi rarely lost the ball, but when they did, we noticed the advantage of having the midfield players all playing so close together. When the player lost the ball, there was usually another Barca player on hand to pick up the loose ball before the opposition had a chance to get near. The beauty of having Messi in the false 9 role is that he has such great close dribbling ability, and he can turn in an instant. So in order to stop him dribbling at the defenders, they are inclined to press. He attracts the press from Vidic, and this sees the space open up behind the United backline for Villa to make a diagonal run. A common feature of this game was the ease at which Barca could get the ball behind United's midfield line and attack their defence. This was evident in Barca's first goal. This time it's Xavi that is running at United's defence, and this causes confusion as they are not sure whether to press or play for offside. The two fullbacks decide to press, leaving a big gap for Pedro beside the centre-back to slot home. United didn't have any way to stop Pep's game plan for the final third, and this constantly caused confusion amongst the United defenders. With Messi running at the defenders, the wide attackers were able to come in off the flanks and get behind the back line. The game plan was working perfectly. When Messi was in the midfield, he pulled a defender out of the defence, and this also saw Barca stretch the pitch horizontally for Dani Alves to advance into space. And when this happened, it was the trigger for Villa to move inside, dragging the fullback with him, opening up space for Alves to get into the box. Barca were wasteful on several occasions though. Barcelona had the numerical advantage in their own third and in the midfield with Messi, the centre-backs stepping up and the fullbacks advancing, but they were not concerned with having the numerical advantage in the final third, and that's because they didn't need to. Barcelona were able to create enough confusion, and from this, spaces to attack in the final third from just a few players picking up the right positions and running at the United defence. And this meant that whenever the ball did go back into the midfield, United were always numerically disadvantaged. United rarely posed any problems to Barcelona defensively, despite scoring in the first half. Barca again were able to keep the numerical advantage with their 4-3-3 as United struggled to find space. This was because of the gulf between the midfield and the forwards. United played the ball forward too quickly, so were never able to get numbers forward. Meanwhile, Barca made sure to keep their forwards high on the flanks to stop United's defence pressing up. There was a suggestion that if Ferguson had employed Park as a man marker on Messi, United would have won the game, but on this evidence, I'm not so sure that's true. Here we have seen the advantages of playing a false 9 system. It allows the team with the false 9 to gain the numerical advantage in key areas of the pitch. These are the centre of midfield and the half spaces outside the opposition's area. This only works though if the false 9 is technically gifted.